within about 3 minutes, I was able to get the same kind of knowledge that beforehand I had to call various people, call in several meetings, waste hours of people, all with information that is already there, that is just not easily accessible and understandable for different people. Ollie is 38, a manager for the Multi-OEM vehicle project. The vehicle project is launching soon. The SOP is close to come. So, of course, he's under high pressure to focus on time to market, on quality, on cost savings, of course, because as typical, a lot of complex errors are coming up very late in the process. And now the unfortunate is happening. The CTO was calling Ollie because he was driving around with the car. Navigation screen is constantly turning back, and he almost yells at him and says, hey, we can't deliver it like that. You have to ensure that this is solved very, very fast and very quickly. So get back to me ASAP. I want to have an answer on this. So after some time of digging, he decides, okay, let's call the responsible engineer. There must be someone who is responsible for that functionality. So he doesn't know it right out of the top of his head, but he decides to check for that. Unfortunately, he remembers there's a conference page that has been implemented, where there's a list with all the development responsibles for components and functions. So he checks for the function owner, which is, fortunately, it is mentioned there, Adam Dryden.
Well, actually, I handed this over to my successor, John Brand, a couple of weeks ago. I am sorry, but say hi to him.
So after some time, we get back together in a short meeting, and I think John is also here today, fortunately. So maybe, John, you can let me know what you found out. And I expect that, of course, you have found the error, right?
It's complicated. I can't clearly say what is causing this based on the data I see in my systems. We need to have a troubleshooting meeting with the responsible engineers.
John then also sends me the list of the people. It's 13 in this very case. So, Chris, you're responsible for the head unit component.
I see several issues that could be the reason. I need to do some further analysis with the team, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Andres, I see. Okay, so you're from a partner OEM. This is actually good. So very, very nice of you to still join today. So let me guess. I guess your component is unfaulty, or what is?
So there is an issue here, but I need to get clearance from headquarters first, whether I can pass on the issue analysis information from our end. This will take a few days.
Okay, thanks for offering, but to be honest, I'm in too much stress now because I expect that the CTO wants the answer fast. So let's not look into something that is apparently not relevant. And you can imagine it goes on and on like this, and then the next thing happens. It's now about 2 weeks in time. You haven't solved it. The next top management meeting is happening. And the CTO decides to call again to check on you because he sees that this error is still not resolved and still up there. 10, would you like to answer? I guess not. Unfortunately, as you can imagine, based on this, it took now 2 weeks and the answer hasn't been found. This was even with high pressure and a lot of people being very cooperative and joining, and still it wasn't that easy. And what I would like to show you now, that there is a possibility to solve this. So what I will do is I will briefly log in and then go to a page with all the applications that I can see. And then me as the product manager or the CTO himself would, of course, probably have looked at some sort of steering dashboard and overview. And there you see now the overview of the project, what the status is, what kind of project we're looking at. How the ramp up is, sort of how the data quality is even. And as we can see here on the left, it says that there are functions with new issues that were coming up. And this is actually something that you can, as you enable the people to work with the data from various systems that you have already in your company, you have the knowledge. If you just make it easier accessible, they can actually use this. And so the project manager, no matter how many companies are collaborating in this case, can actually use this to look at this. So of course, we would have looked into this navigation system functionality before the CTO thought that this is important. And then what we see is, when we click on it, the first thing that I would like to mention is, even though Adam is not here anymore, that we would assume that he is not responsible anymore, because this is based on the actual engineering systems, not on some confluence page that someone has to manually update. And this is also important, that if you base it on facts, if you actually connect it to the systems that are used to develop a product, then of course the product quality gets also better than when someone has to write it in some Confluence, PowerPoint, or whatnot. And and then I would say, let's check if there are any issues connected to this functionality. And you see the 4 issues that are unassigned that are on the functional level here, the ones. But you also see several other functions that are in the sort of architecture of the product. So the function, as you saw in the previous picture, it consists of various components of software, hardware, and they are communicating. And by using this and by building this up centrally and connecting it to the base systems, which are various, in this case, for example, at most OEMs, it's easily 4 to 5 tools that are used for this. And you can now see issues on this functional level that are actually not on the function itself, but on the components. And this is important here for 2 reasons. One is, we see that this one here, it has an error, but this one is marked as cleared. If you remember, this is from our partner company component. And by implementing rules and logics into a system, and you can, of course, ease the effort for consulting companies, PMO support, and of course also legal support to check every issue individually. You can do this with AI assists or just with standard rules, basically, that say, okay, certain kinds of issues can directly pass, and some maybe not. And also, of course, this oftentimes referred to need-to-know principle in partnerships is important. So I have a clear reason why I want to know this now, right? I have an issue, I'm researching it, so this information can be passed. It's different than in other projects where you have to make sure that the information is not passed to everyone. That's correct, but here it can be used to help me finding the root cause for the issue. And the last thing I want to highlight is you see several issues here on the head unit. You remember Chris said that he had several, and indeed there are some saying, oh, the head unit restarts. So even though I'm not an expert, I have to admit, I immediately know, hey, look, this might be part of the overall issue. So maybe this is where you have to dig deeper. So yeah, I would now click on this and then get to the component information, again, also consisting of various tools. We see here the issues again, and also here the name from Chris. So basically, within about 3 minutes, I checked, I was able to get the same kind of knowledge that beforehand I had to call various people, call in several meetings, waste hours of people, all with information that is already there, but is just not easily accessible and understandable for different people. And maybe one last thing I would like to highlight is that you remember this overview and that the CTO found this issue. And I would like to highlight here that, of course, this is the basis, this connecting of the base information and enabling engineers to work with it, to then also apply AI. And let's, for example, check the navigation system is broken. So this, for example, could be my request now because it's apparently not working. And even the CTO himself, because of course he would have access to this management dashboard, would be able to do this. And now what we can do based on this connected information is we can check for the functions, we can check for the connected components for issues, because of course an AI understands the relation from broker to issue. So what we can do is we can now basically pull up the information and sort of get you closer to a potential issue right away by, for example, checking how accurate a certain issue is connected to whatever you are describing. And this is what we believe in, that this basis is necessary to then really apply AI powerful and make it very tangible and also accurate.